Hey guys, Andy here with Tier 1 Woodcraft, and today I just want to show you guys a little zero block that I created. First one I did didn't work out too well, but it seemed to work out well enough in order to create the new one. As you guys can see, my new one is going to be quite a bit larger than the original. And the reason for that is I go through and I can actually utilize this to plant my different projects into place, have a completely repeatable zero location for all my projects in the future. So first thing we did is created the counter bores, and we go through and actually drill out the holes. Now, as you guys can see, I'm also creating a few extra slots in here. I decided to create some phone holders and some drill bit racks that I wanted to use. I knew that I was going to have a lot of scrap, so I figured I might as well just try and use up all this while I could. As you guys can see, I sped up the video. I apologize for the flashing lights, but really figured you guys didn't want to sit here and watch this run for about half an hour. Next up are these little slots. I created another set of racks. You guys will be able to see here in a minute how I actually screwed these up, but I just got a few longer drill bits that I wanted to be able to lay on there without rolling around a drawer. So after we have all the actual holes cut, I went ahead and ran a profile around here to actually create the actual zero block. I ended up cutting that out first because I figured if something was going to go wrong, I did not want it to go wrong with that zero block. Now you guys can see as I go around here, it broke off a few of the fingers on that lower right hand corner for the linear rack. I already had a 1/4 inch round over bit loaded into my router table, so I went ahead and used that. As you guys can see, started off with the phone holders, ended up going around the outside and then the inside. Just wanted to break off the edges a little bit, kind of clean it up. So they seem to turn out pretty well. I'm happy with it. Doesn't have to be anything special, just gets the phone up off the desk. Did the same thing with the drill bit holders there. Those turned out pretty nice. Really happy with those. Don't have to be anything special, but they get the job done. Next up are the linear racks, and then I'm again just going through breaking off the edges. Now, second one, like I said, kind of just threw that off to the side because it broke. Then I switched over to a flush trim bit and just knocked off the tabs from the CNC process. So now in order to actually set this, what I did is I set a square up against the existing zero block. And what that does basically just gives me a reference point. It doesn't have to be perfect as far as true location. It does, however, need to be perfectly parallel and squared up to the axes on the CNC. So I went ahead and just removed the old one, ended up starting to put in the T-slot nuts and all the screws to actually hold this into place. As you guys can see, I'm kind of a glutton for punishment, but I wanted to use an actual screwdriver to set all those to begin with, so I didn't try and strip anything out. Now, just like you would set the elevation of your bit with a basically piece of paper and all that kind of fun stuff, basically just did the exact same thing here with making sure that my lateral dimensions are the same way. So start off back at the actual zero, got that set, moved up to the far end, tried it again right in the middle, got everything set there, just making sure that nothing actually moved. Once I was happy with it, I locked it down into place. Ran one final test just to make sure that everything's good. I looked over at UGS to see what my offsets were, wrote those down. Then I went to move on to the x-axis. So the x-axis is going to be the exact same thing as the y. Again, starting off at zero, moving off to the far end, tightening it down as we go, and then just kind of clamping it down with the screws. Now I go through, set my zero elevation, end up homing the machine, which sets it back to its true zeros, and then type in my offsets that I calculated. And as you can see, it drops right into zero for me. I appreciate it, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to give me a shout. Please like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.